The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio at Gasworks in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. And this is one of these special episodes where Mark just is not going to be here. And even Chelsea producing from afar. So it's just on me. And because, you know, it's one of these episodes where we're talking about PMRE. I cannot believe that it is already May. And it's already time to start talking about PMRE. I feel that we just got back from last year, but I mean, there's so much to talk about this year. And PMRE is returning to Palms Casino and Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, November 18th through 20th. And early bird tickets are going to go on sale very soon. Early bird tickets are going to go on sale on May 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And last year, early bird tickets sold out within 5 minutes. There are 100 up there, and they sold out within 5 minutes. So implore you to put that on your calendar, get in there and get an early bird ticket. And it's going to be at PMREconference.com. That's PMREconference.com to get those early bird tickets. And today we're going to talk all about PMRE. And oh my goodness, the excitement does not stop. I am we brought out the big dogs once again this year. We had such a fun time, such big success last year doing this. We are so grateful to once again this year be partnering with iGUIDE to bring you these special Road to PMRE episodes. And we, of course, have Skylar Lawrence LaBelle from iGUIDE here with us again to talk about some pretty freaking amazing giveaways and also what's going on in iGUIDE land and, you know, how we're, you know, now early in spring ramping up for next fall for PMRE. Skylar, how's it going?
Great. I'm great. Thrilled to be back. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, you give us money. So here you are.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, it is all it takes. For anyone else listening, that's all it takes. So last year we did these giveaways. Everyone was so excited. And we said, let's do it again.
That's exactly it. Yeah. We kicked off last year the tour to PMRE. I mean, it was very well received. Anyone that was there in November loved it. We were able to send a couple people to PMRE. Went over really well. And we thought, why not bring it back for year two? So here we are.
I'm in full agreement. That was like the coolest thing. Everyone was so excited. And I got so much good feedback from people just getting a bunch of free stuff from listening to the podcast.
So yeah, kicking it off. Tour to PMRE 2025, year two.
Yeah. And so are we going to do an early bird giveaway this year?
We are going to do an early bird. So it'll kick off as of today. So this episode, and the early bird draw will be on July 8th. So you've got about 2 months. Okay. And for everyone that enters in that period, has a chance to win one $500 Amazon gift card.
That's nice. I'll take that. Yeah.
So,
but unfortunately, I cannot win it. So, damn it.
You could not. And if you come up with an alias, we'll still find you. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And so, but just to be clear, there's one, you enter once and then you're in the early bird drawing, but then there's the grand prize drawing as well,
Correct.
Which is going to happen.
The grand prize.
The grand prize drawing, you have time to enter, but I think you want to enter early, but that's going to be in September. And what's that prize this year?
So that's going to be one PMRE ticket and then your trip, travel, everything included in that. So hotel, flights, car service to and from the airport. So iGUIDE will take care of that lucky winner at PMRE 2025.
Oh, and I saw the winners last year and they were taken care of. I will say that for sure. And the key to remember on this is, and since that drawing does not happen until September in all likelihood, because we're going to be pressing this for a long time, you will have already bought your PMRE ticket. You will have already booked your travel. And if you haven't, great. iGUIDE's going to take care of all that for you. But if you have, they're going to reimburse you for what you spent on that stuff. So save those receipts, okay? Make sure you save those. It's a write-off anyway, but come on, save the receipts so you can send it to iGUIDE and they can just cut you a big fat check.
Yeah, you've got it.
I love fat checks from iGUIDE.
Who doesn't? I think it's it's very straightforward to enter. I mean, you follow iGUIDE, our account on Instagram, go _iGUIDE, and then follow yours.
It's at Upmarket Pod on Instagram.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
And then go to goiguide.com/PMRE. There's a form there that you can put in all your details.
Yeah, very easy form. You just got to share your email, get on the mailing list. So it's going to be go to Instagram and go to go _ iGUIDE. And then you're going to go to Upmarket Pod on Instagram. Follow us both if you're not already. Most of our listeners, they entered last year. They're probably already following us. But go in there. It's good to do a check. You don't know who got in your account and unfollowed people. So get in there, make sure you're following us, and then go to goiguide.com/PMRE and get your details in there. And then you can win $500 or a free all expenses paid trip to PMRE in Las Vegas. Oh my goodness, Skylar. Thank you so much for doing that. You're going to come back a little later. We'll do an ad and I want to hear what's new in iGUIDE land. But my great appreciation for you partnering with us again. It's really making these episodes happen. And I know our listeners appreciate it as well. So thank you so much, Skylar.
Thank you.
And what would PMRE be without a host? And we've had so many great hosts over the years. Last year, Kelsey Curtis was here. She kind of killed it. So whoever's going to have to follow her probably is going to really not seem good in comparison. But we'll give this person a chance. And I think actually everyone is going to be very happy to see who our host is. And it is none other than, are we going to drum roll this, Bethany? Let's throw a little drum roll in. Matthew Anderson.
Do I have is the camera right?
Yeah, you're really good.
How's
look
my
great.
oily T-zone? Is that working?
yeah, that was good. That was for our listeners. That was a real close up. I got to see every pore of Matthew's face. Matthew, you went from speaking last year, wonderful presentation, to hosting this year.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you feeling about that? Do you actually think you can do it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But
that's how I feel too. So
yeah, thanks for having me on. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Are you? Do you need material? Because we can workshop some jokes and stuff. I mean, those will be really good.
We could. Because I'm just gonna basically be staring at my feet the whole entire time and trying to learn.
Yeah. Mr. Stage Presence from last year you walked out with arms raised up like a champion last year. So I think I think you've got the chutzpah to get up there and put on a good show.
It's a little I can't remember what I said. Yeah, I said something to the effect of I shot down my own credibility, coming out as if I'm like the Messiah or something, and saying thank you very much for that sitting ovation or something like
right.
that.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. Well, if anything, I got to know you a little bit last year, and obviously everyone who was there saw your presentation, and obviously I think you do have a lot of charisma on stage, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with it. Now, I think what we want to do is we want to go over exactly what's going on with PMRE this year. And it is going to be the big difference this year is that it's going to be full on 3 days. So last year it was a 2-day conference with an optional third day. This year, the third day is not optional. I mean, you could always leave after 2, but you're paying for 3. So I would really say you should probably stick around for 3. And last year, that third day was more about architecture and hospitality photography. And this year, there's still going to be a lot of content related to that, but it's going to be interspersed throughout the 3 days. So it's not going to be the straight real estate 2 days and 1 day of architecture and hospitality. It's going to be more interspersed, which I think is great because I think there's every year more and more people are kind of doing both.
Yeah. Well, and especially from my end, my presentation last year was kind of, if you were to Venn diagram the days, was kind of that part right in the middle.
Right.
And I got a lot of positive feedback where it helped out a lot of folks because there's a lot of shooters who were in that position. They're either wanting to add kind of that commercial architecture design or they're already doing it. So, this whole mutual exclusivity thing, it's, I mean, granted, there are some people who kind of stay in their certain lanes and don't veer off, but I think it's more common. There's probably a lot more who are doing that than are not.
Well, yeah. And I think last year it was just that third day was so successful. And I think, I don't even know what it is. 85% of the people who came went for the optional third day. So it just really made sense to.
Well, I think Brandon would even admit it was a bit of an experiment too.
Sure. Absolutely.
He wasn't 100% certain that, day 3 would be a success. And it definitely was. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I think, the feedback from people is like, look, if they're leaving their market, if they're booking flights and getting out there and spending the money to do it, it's like the more time you can have to connect and meet the people that you want to meet and learn. I mean, it's like that one extra day is just, it makes so much sense. So
stick around. Might as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the other thing is, I think this year there's going to be a lot more focus on the business side of things. Whereas, I think we're all feeling like there's, thousands of hours of technical, instruction available online. And you may also produce some of that content, Matthew.
Yeah.
There's so much of it out there that the kind of benefit of being in the room and getting that is, most people there are already pretty good at real estate photography or architectural photography. So I think there's going to be more of an emphasis this year on the business and scaling your business and probably a bit on the creative side as well, and maybe just not on the technical, although there will be workshops. I don't think those are announced yet. Some of those workshops will focus on the technical side of that. Yeah. And so what else? Oh, okay. This is a big thing. Last year, there was a big party and it was fun. This year, they're kind of doing this party a little bit differently. It's going to be at Ghost Bar, which is Ghost Bar is the place, right? It's on top of the Ivory Tower and has the best views of the Strip of anywhere in Las Vegas.
I just found out about this yesterday. This sounds like even an upgrade from last year. Am I reading this right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Upgrade that party last year. That was on the 33rd floor. And
it was unreal.
Insane. Yeah. Yeah. Now the whole venue is just unreal. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Palms was so, I don't know. It was so great. I think everyone felt like that was, no offense, South Point, but it was a big upgrade from South Point. PMRE has gone out of their way to secure over 1,000 hotel room nights at a reduced rate, so people need to take advantage of this. Room booking link will be sent to attendees with the conference registration confirmation. And we're going to hit you over the head with that over the course of these episodes as we move forward. Because
inevitably there's people who hold off to the last minute and they wonder, how do I get that discounted rate? They're gone, man.
Exactly. They're gone. Yeah. And then some people were staying across the street last year, which worked out fine. But come on, you want to be where the action is. You want to be at Palms. That's really that's really what it's at. And as always, the thing we've talked about so much, and I think is ultimately the thing, is that this is almost less about what the content is going to be, and it's more about meeting your fellow real estate media professionals and networking and forming community. And I feel like I learned almost more from the attendees than I do from the presenters, as wonderful as the presenters are and as chock full of information as that. Have you found that, Matthew? Have you made community and friends at this thing?
A little bit of backstory. The first year I went was 2 years ago, which was the last year that was at South Point. Yeah. And I was not skeptical, but being that I'm mostly in architecture and design, I was like, I don't know how much this is going to apply to me. I absolutely loved it. Granted, and I will admit, since I don't do a whole lot of real estate photography per se, yes, a lot of the information that was specific to that didn't necessarily apply, but I loved the atmosphere of it. You'll hear people say it time and time again. It might even sound cheesy, but just the opportunity to connect with so many people in this industry, it can be overwhelming, but overwhelming in a good way, because it's been said so many times, we operate as kind of islands in a way.
Yes,
even if we
absolutely.
have a team, it's just a handful of people. And a lot of us work as sole proprietors. It's just one person. So this is a chance to really connect, but then use the presentations as conversation pieces to kind of do those one-on-ones with some of your fellow photographers, bounce ideas, share strategies, questions with each other. It's great. It is just a onslaught of information, all for the betterment of yourself and your business.
Absolutely. And I think even with the people who have teams, and we do have people who are around us and we can, we're not alone. They're not business owners though. And so when you come to PMRE, the vast majority of people there are fellow business owners. And it's different if you're an employee as if you're an owner. And so it's really wonderful to be able to have that insight from other owners who are going through the same things. And, and I know for us, it's like, how do you manage people? That can be really tricky. And so when you're talking with other people and you figure out how they do it, I don't know. I know in a way, sometimes I feel like we're beating a dead horse, but it's like, we're not, because the power of networking and the power of community and the power of coming together is the strongest thing that we have. So I really, we can't stress enough how important that is. And then the other thing is it's actually fun.
It's a whirlwind, man. It's a blast.
Yeah,
It really is.
It's so much fun. And it's like everyone's kind of loose and in a good mood. And, there's great parties and there's obviously a lot of drinks and there's a lot of food. And I think Brandon said there's going to be like more like food available this year as well. I don't know. Yeah. It's like we had to spend more money on food. So he's like, we're just going to have food out. I'm like, all right, that's great.
We had to go back to Brandon's hotel room and snack on his chips. That's how desperate people were.
So I think we'll be fine. And I think hopefully the Mexican restaurant will be back open this year. So there's plenty of restaurants at Palms as well, and right around in the vicinity. Yeah. And so, there's always parties and then there's impromptu stuff. And I think this year, because of the format, I don't exactly have what the agenda is, but I know there's going to be, with the 3 nights now, there's going to be one night that is really just open for people. And so, of course, you're going to be welcome to hang out at Palms and do more stuff. Or you can just like with your new friends, go out and see the city and go to a show or just, walk along the strip, whatever your heart fancies, or just, take a nap. You might want to take a nap. I don't know.
Which you'll probably feel like you need to do, especially after the event, man.
Yeah, I'll probably wait to take a nap till I get home. But I don't know. I like burning the candles at both ends out there. It's it's funny. You want to maximize like every minute. It just feels like you're like, no, I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so I think we can talk a couple bits more, and then we'll do a social media sidebar here in a minute, and then we're going to come back, and I think we do have a list of most of who the speakers are going to be, so we're going to announce that here on the show and go over it. But before we do our social media sidebar, I want to wade into some probably waters I shouldn't, but I think there is a little bit of an elephant in the room. And I do want to address it. And I think it's no secret that the organizers of PMRE and a lot of the attendees of PMRE are Canadian. And recently, in the political world, there has been some tension between the United States and Canada. And I know from seeing statistics that a lot of foreign travel is down to the United States because people are not feeling as welcome. And especially from Canada, there's a lot of people who are not coming in because of the politics of it. And I do not want to get into the politics. I really don't. But, it's getting hard. And I think there are some political things that do actually affect our industry. And I think it is worth talking about. And I think and this is just my personal opinion, there may be legitimate beefs about the fairness of how, I'm no trade expert, I really am not, of how, that is all going down between the United States and Canada. But I think polls show that most Americans feel the same way, is that the way that this has happened and gone about has been very disrespectful and is a kick in the face to our friends and our best ally. And it is just so weird to me that this is even happening. And what I want to say to our Canadian friends, and in fact, our friends all over the world, is that the average American, whether they're right or left, has no beef with the people of Canada. Right. And if our governments are at it a little bit, they are. But you will come here and you will be welcomed with open arms, just the same as always. And really the spirit of this conference, the spirit of PMRE, what is happening politically between our countries is totally antithetical to what PMRE is all about. It is about everyone coming together, everyone mingling and understanding and looking past our differences and setting aside differences. I mean, there's no talk of politics at PMRE usually. It is just all of us coming together as real estate media professionals and learning from each other and offering friendship to each other. And I don't think that is going to change this year. And I mean, I would imagine you agree with that, Matthew.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think I heard anybody say anything divisive, political. And I mean, to your point, too, about differences, if anything in this industry, that actually kind of adds to the beauty of it, is because if everyone had the same perspective, especially when it comes to how to photograph, how to run the business, there really wouldn't be a big benefit. I mean, that's what you're going there to learn, is we have our ways of doing things. So let's hear someone else's perspective on it. So the differences is what adds to the fun. And the chaos and the craziness in the political sphere is not a representation of the average, the real person. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, no, it's really true. And I don't think any regular person has any beef with Canada or Canadians.
No, not at all.
I really, because I imagine that probably everyone like in Canada, even if they're planning on coming, there's a moment where they're like, well, do I really want to? and I want to encourage you to kind of look past that moment and get your butt down here and give your American friends a hug. That's what I think. We're going to hug you back. So don't you worry about that.
Agreed.
So, hopefully that was artfully done and we're not going to get roasted, but, let's, break for a social media sidebar. So, and then we're going to come back. We're going to go over the agenda, who the speakers are, and then we are going to end this with action items. We've got to host action items. Well, I'm a host of the show. Matthew's a host of PMRE. We're going to have 2 host action items. This is fantastic.
Once again, Aereo was making us look good with our clients. We were just talking with a client the other day and she was saying how I love your backend system so much because I go and I can put my order in, I can pay, I can download, and all my photos and video and 3D tours and everything are right there in one place, whether I did it today or whether I did it 6 months ago. And that just makes my life so much easier. And that's what we're all about. At Upmarket Media, we're about making our customer lives easier. Actually, we're not. We're really more about like making money and, doing that. But, a nice byproduct of that is that we can make our clients' lives easier because Aereo makes our life easier. So I would encourage you to go to aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com and check them out. It's an all-in-one system for doing so much of the stuff that we do behind the scenes as real estate media professionals. Aereo.com. Use the code Upmarket and you're going to get 15 free bonus listings if you're a new user. Aereo.com. It's springtime. So that means, what that means. It's peak floor plan season. Everyone, they're out there, some people are out smelling the spring flowers, but a lot of us are inside making floor plans because that's what we're passionate about. And that beautiful spring light just makes those floor plans jump off the page, doesn't it? Or the screen, wherever we're looking at these beautiful floor plans. And I think one of the best ways to get those floor plans is Second Floor app. Second Floor app makes it so simple. You just use your phone, go in, walk around the house for 5-10 minutes at the most, and boom, you got a floor plan. One that you can deliver instantly to your realtor. I mean, that's the crazy thing. So they will have more time to go out and smell the spring flowers, but you won't because you're going on to the next house and the next house and the next house because your business is so popular because you're using Second Floor app to produce floor plans. So go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You can get a free month of service. Second Floor app. Go make some floor plans. They make me so excited.
All right, social media sidebar. We are Upmarket Pod across all social media. You can follow upmarket.media as well on Instagram, kind of see what our flagship business is all about. And my new personal Instagram is reedfish, LYSM. Check me out there if you want to follow. Got some pretty crazy stuff coming up that is going to be, I don't know. Anyway, surreal. And then Matthew, where are we finding you on social media?
My main outlet, well, I got 2 mainly. Instagram. Is Matthew A Photo, and then my YouTube channel, which just type in Matthew Anderson Photography. I've been a little absent on YouTube for a while, some family stuff, illnesses, things like that. I've kind of put it on the back burner, but I've recorded some new content, so hopefully I pick that back up again here soon. But yeah, YouTube and Instagram.
All right. Well, you had a fun video from PMRE last year, which I was a bit drunk and spewing hot takes, and so that was
So I'm so oblivious to that stuff. I just always assume everyone's just slap happy, and I was editing that, and someone goes, "Was that guy like toasted in the photo?" And I'm watching it going, Yeah, maybe Reed was a little bit. But it was great. That's what we wanted. That's what I wanted in that video.
Right. Well, if I probably had a couple beers and was just like, well, and you turn the camera on, it's like, come on, let's like, we're here to entertain the people. Let's do it.
And I'm glad I interviewed the right people. Some of the people I never had in-depth conversations with, but I would have people go, oh, you need to talk to her. You need to talk to him.
Right.
And everyone was lively, boisterous, free, willing to give their opinion, which was fantastic. And everybody gave different answers, which was awesome.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, I would definitely check that video out. That was a really fun video to be a part of.
That video is a great representation of kind of the atmosphere of PMRE. It's a lot of different takes, but it's fun, and it's kind of that weird mix of educational yet a blast at the same time. So,
do you remember the name of the video if people are wanting to check it out?
Yeah, I think I always label them controversy, or controversial, like hot takes or something at PMRE.
Okay, right. All right. Well, if you haven't been doing many videos lately, it should be at the top of your feed.
Yeah, it's like one of the last 3 or 4. So
okay. Cool.
Real estate and architecture photography hot takes. I'm looking at it right now.
Hot takes.
And the thumbnail is me and Fraser. So
okay, all right, good, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, Fraser, a hot take master as well. Cool. And so just kind of plugging away at social media, just doing your YouTube, and just kind of any new trends you're seeing, anything you're doing to drum up business on social media.
Not necessarily. I think my emphasis is something that's not necessarily in my wheelhouse, despite what you may think. It was actually kind of the kick in the pants was from the host last year. Kelsey's presentation the year before, the first year I went, was about putting your personality out there more on your Instagram feed. And I also heard from it was a podcast that Arturo from Shifter was on. He said if your Instagram feed looks like, if you cannot differentiate it from like a real estate agent or an architect, then you're doing something wrong. People are hiring you, so you need to put your personality out there. So that's kind of the emphasis. It's not my comfort zone, but I gotta remind myself every now and then. Yeah,
I love. Oh yeah, not your comfort zone. I mean, maybe you feel that interior, but you come off though. The way you come off is pretty.
Because I'm not gonna lie, everyone has that insecurity. So as soon as you put yourself out there, like, I'm 3 pounds heavier, is someone gonna notice that on Instagram or? Did I say a word wrong?
I noticed it here. I didn't notice it on Instagram, but
let's take a break so I can cry for a bit.
yeah, it's all right. All right, well, okay, so that's social media. So let's take another quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we have a list of, I think, most of the speakers who are going to be at PMRE. Awesome. I'm happy to let the people know about that. So we'll be right back.
All right, and I'm back for just a moment here with Skylar Lawrence LaBelle of iGUIDE. And Skylar, I know big news, you're partnering with us on these episodes again, but what's the news in iGUIDE land? What do you guys got going on?
Hey, Reed, what's new in iGUIDE? Well, we launched a new camera late last year in the fall. The success momentum of that continues. We've got a lot of great feedback. So the Planix R1, it's our flagship camera system.
Right.
Really for us at iGUIDE, 2025 remains about supporting the independent real estate photographer and media companies. So helping all of you grow your businesses with us, an add-on solution for your virtual tours, accurate floor plans, and really this idea of iGUIDE being a content delivery system, passing that along to your agents. One thing I'd be happy to share is we've recently partnered with Matt Anderson, so as we know.
You're going to hear from Matt Anderson in about 2 minutes on here. And
so this worked out nicely, but recently partnered with Matt. He's put together some content around iGUIDE in the R1 and his experience using it. So encourage all of you to check out his YouTube page, and you can watch some content around that. But excited for what's ahead in 2025 and the tour to PMRE, obviously sending some lucky winner to Vegas in November, which will be great.
All right. That sounds great. All right. So to check out iGUIDE, you're going to go to goiguide.com, give it a whirl, follow their, you follow their Instagram already. So much information there. And check it out. iGUIDE, goiguide.com. Thanks, Skylar. We are back more with Matthew Anderson, the host of PMRE 2025, the Photography and Media for Real Estate Conference, which is going to be at the Palms Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas from November 18th through 20th. Early bird tickets go on sale on May 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern, PMREconference.com. Get in there and get that early bird ticket and get your hotel booked. So what are we going to do when we're there? Well, we talked about we're going to network, we're going to meet our friends, we're going to build community, but we're also going to sit through some presentations, some pretty amazing presentations. So I think there may be a couple more that are going to get thrown into the mix as we draw closer to the date. But here's what we got so far. Mike Kelly. I mean, come on. This guy, one of the biggest names.
Okay.
One of the biggest names in architecture photography, far bigger than Matthew. I mean, this guy is like schools.
Oh,
Matthew. Yeah.
No, I had the pleasure though of doing a course with Mike.
I know, that's right. Yeah. So he's amazing. He actually lives in the area right by me, and so we're hoping to get him in the studio for a podcast. So we'll look forward to that. And then Simon Devitt. I mean, come on. But he's a master of architectural photography, and I think, I think he's going to come in and he's going to be the hype man this year a little bit, and kind of about how like the level he's at, we can all attain. And I think that he's going to come in and kind of almost like Emma did last year, Emma Peter, where it's like you just walk out of her presentation and being like, yes, you're like all pumped up and you're like ready to make to do a better job at your business.
Well, if I can chime in a little bit on that, I had the opportunity to get a chance to see Simon's presentation, and the main thing that I think Simon makes you do as a photographer is it's cliche to say, but it's think outside the box. We all tend to kind of, as photographers, try to match someone else's style or a look, or we're forced to think we always have to have our cameras on a tripod. I mean, down to fundamental stuff, Simon will make you kind of shake, that snow globe that is your photography brain a bit, and go, maybe there is some different approaches to some of these things. So yeah, Simon is very even keeled, but he will get inside your head. He will plant plant some seeds in there for sure.
All right. Okay. I love that. All right. That's great. And then I think kind of another big draw is going to be, and this is one I was surprised at this one, Matthew, I got to say.
Okay.
It's Eli Jones.
Yeah. Who I've never actually had a chance to talk to him, but I've seen him there at the conference every time.
I talked to him for a second 2 years ago. I kind of I just made a joke and walked away. But anyway, well, because he's always showing up in my feed. I'm like, I already know real estate photography. Why are your stinking courses always showing up in my feed? And I basically told him to F off. So
you already know.
In a loving joking way. But so basically, Eli is kind of the master of getting so many people into this business and starting so many people, helping people start their businesses. And so I think we're not really sure what everyone is exactly talking about, but he's probably going to be talking about, efficiency, scaling, how to be profitable. Really is going to be focused on the business side and less on the creative. So I know that for sure. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then we're going to have, as we've had the last few years, the state of the industry with Matt Mikowski from Aereo. Always a really popular session, always gives the insight into what's going on. And so I know that one is so useful every year for everybody. And then, I'm excited about this. We got Alex Coombs, friend of the show, who is one of the. You met Alex last year, didn't you, Matthew?
I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people.
Think you did? Okay. That was a moment where you lie and be like, "Oh my God, yeah, she's awesome."
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I probably did, honestly.
Yeah. No, she is amazing. You guys will remember I interviewed a full hour with her at PMRE, and that was one of our more popular episodes. So Alex is amazing. She's out of Canada, and she grew her team to I think 17 people in just a few years, and by leveraging social media and creativity to stand out. She's
I didn't meet her. I'm looking at her Instagram. Yeah.
No, she is one of the most. In fact, I think she is the most unique voice that I've seen in the real estate media sphere. What she is doing and has done is different than anyone else's I've seen, and that's why I was immediately attracted to talking to her. Is because it's man, she's just doing it in such a different way, and she's going to be back on the podcast soon, and I am so excited to hear her speak. And I'm pretty sure that she's going to be doing a workshop as well. So that would be, I would highly recommend doing that for anybody.
You guys did a lengthy interview with her there at.
Right.
Yes. That's what I thought.
The show. Yeah. It was cool. It was like the daytime in the suite, and you have the strip behind it. It's a pretty cool deal there. And then a familiar name, Tony Colangelo, one of the best guys in our industry. And so he's going to talk a little bit almost you did last year, Matthew, about bridging the gap between hardcore real estate photography and opening up the possibilities of additional revenue streams interior architecture, hospitality, etc. So that's, I think, because I think,
let's face it, Tony's going to do it with a little bit more sex appeal than I did.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. There's no question.
Let's just put it out there.
a little less arrogance and a little more sex appeal.
Yeah, it didn't help that I walked outside. I went, I know more than you.
Yes, exactly. So, Tony is obviously one of the best, the best dudes in this industry. So happy to have him and get him back on the podcast as well. But I think every year someone can spin a little different take. Even though Matthew talked about a similar thing last year, Tony's going to have a different take, and there's also going to be different people in the room, and so all those people are going to bring different things to I don't know, again, just that whole collaboration of spirit that we all have when we're there. And then here's a guy, I don't know this guy, but it's Jared Bauman, founder of 201 Creative, who is, according to Brandon Cooper, an absolute SEO genius, who's going to talk about tangible ways to rank high online in your specific market, and also provide some tips on how to leverage AI to supercharge your online presence. All right. Gary Gomez. Oh,
not familiar.
Another ringer. Gary is going to share best business practices for real estate media. He's going to touch on licensing, usage rights, how to leverage your IP for residual income. Gary's a master at that stuff, and just a really engaging speaker, and just a great guy. So I know the first year I went, he did a presentation, which was one of my favorites. And so I think that was 4 years ago. So I'm happy to see him back on the stage. And then this one is, it's a little bit obvious that we would have this, but it's Murray the Magician. Which if you're going to think about a real estate media conference, you're going to think Murray the Magician is going to be there. His actual name is Murray Sawchuk. And I know this is a little, and this is actually not a joke, and it's a little off the board here, but let me read what Brandon wrote about this. And he's talked to me about this before, and it actually really does make sense. So Murray has been a resident magician in Las Vegas for 20 years, has billions of views online, and more importantly, he's the definition of a creative who has had to figure out how to be a business person, which is, I think almost all of us have come from that. Very few people come to this industry as business people getting into it and learning photography. Some people have that journey, but most of us do not. So, and how he's adapted to trends, following his passion for magic, not photography, but then making it a legit business. But he's someone who basically has gone through a very similar path to what many of us have done. So he started basically just doing magic to strictly needing this daily creative satisfaction, and then turned his passion into a thriving business, which so many of us have. So I'm going to trust Brandon on that. I think it's a little off the board, but I'm excited. We're going to get him on the podcast as well. So that'll
I could
be
see
fun.
This almost similar to how people viewed Kelsey Curtis's presentation,
right,
where she wasn't necessarily a real estate photographer. And, there was some overlap because she worked a lot with real estate. But just because someone is in the industry does not necessarily mean their business insight cannot apply to what you're doing.
Absolutely.
If anything, some of the coolest things you'll learn are from people outside of your industry.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
Absolutely. I think because it's about business, and business is business, right? And so there's, we have a lot of the same challenges that people in other industries have. And some are unique to us, but most of them are not. And then, Elena, or is it Elena or Elena? I don't know. We'll have her on the podcast. We'll figure out that pronunciation. Pastorius, who, people are familiar with Devin Pastorius. He was on stage last year. He is one of the creative directors actually behind PMRE. But Elena is the mastermind behind Windsor Creative, who does all the visuals, does all the, basically runs the creative show for PMRE. But according to Devin, is the glue that keeps the business together. And so she's going to be talking about the balance between creative and business, how to reinvent yourself, and how to provide value to clients by leveraging your own creativity. Now, I think Brandon he was telling me he's really excited about this presentation because she's like whip smart and just is like, and Windsor Creative is just like a powerhouse in their market, and, and has done, broadly kind of national stuff as well. So nice. I think that's going to be a great one. And then I think there's going to be a couple more that will come to light over the next few months. But that's kind of the heart of it. And it sounds to me like it's like a bunch of ringers. I hope you're going to start working on your intros now, Matthew, because you're because we don't want to disappoint this stellar lineup of people.
And I've dated every single person on this list, so we all have history.
How did it go with Murray the magician? Actually, I've always pictured you as a clown, and it's just nice to know you dated clowns. It's not a clown; he's a magician. I'm just trying to throw shade at you. I don't know why.
Maybe that'll be the running gag that I'll have through each one of these intros. That I have history with these people somehow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's great. People can, as they come on stage, get sexually harassed. I mean, this is going to be, I think it's a really, it's going to be a really, really great look for PMRE. But I think, the thing that Matthew is going to have to do in order to write all these intros is you're going to have to take action, which means it is time for our action items.
Our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM, the only CRM that is made by a real estate photographer for real estate photographers and media professionals. It's an amazing tool, fully fleshed out. You can do so many things with Pixel CRM. I urge you to check it out. It's Pixel CRM. That's PIXL. CRM.com. And if you add right after that.com, if you add a little /Upmarket, you're going to be able to get a free month of service to check it out. So check out pixelcrm.com/upmarket.
I'm going to go first because I have just a super simple one. And I think I've done this one before, but it bears repeating. And I might do it again later on one of these episodes. But your action item is not to go to PMRE because we are coming to PMRE. Let's just face it. You got to come. Is when you buy your ticket, book your hotel room. Do it at the same time. Get in there, get done with it. Just book the stinking room because the rates are phenomenal. You don't want to miss out on those rates. Matthew, what do you got for us?
So as it relates to PMRE, I would say a big action item has to do with your mindset. I don't think everyone does this, but I do know some, is to not go in. I mean, the broad brush is to go into PMRE with an open mind. And some people would go, well, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. What I mean by that is sometimes, and I know I'm guilty of this too, is we attend these things looking for validation in what we're already doing. Because sometimes we think we know everything. Hey, I've operated a business for 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I'm good. I've got nothing to prove on. You got to check your ego at the door. Not that you're going to get torn down or told you're terrible. You just have to be open to new ideas and things that are outside of your comfort zone, things you don't normally do, things you've written off before. And, not saying someone's business is just going to absolutely blow up, but if one little takeaway helps you be 5% better, 5% more efficient, just whatever, that's a win right there. So be open to it because you're going to hear a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, and I've heard over and over again from people, just to put a fine point on that, is that what they have learned at PMRE has made their businesses stronger and more profitable. Mm-hmm. And I remember I saw one guy posting in the groups a while back. He's saying like, "Oh, my business since PMRE this last year, it's up 30%, and it's because of the things that I put in place at PMRE." And so we went in last year. We always try to be as open as we can as well. And Mark and I remember as we were driving out there, we were talking about how we want to figure out how we're going to like really revamp our video product at PMRE this year. Let's soak in whatever ideas we can come up with. We're still trying to put those in place, but we did come out of it with like so many different ideas on how we can change up our video product, which I think is, that was priority number one, and it was very much achieved. Matthew, thank you so much, and thank you to all our sponsors, all our listeners, and all of the people, all our friends that we are going to see at PMRE. I'm so excited. Still a few months away, but it's great to start these conversations, and I'm looking forward to doing a bunch of these Road to PMRE episodes leading up to the conference and speaking to all these amazing people and having some great conversations. And so, Matthew, thank you. I'm looking forward to hanging out. Las Vegas.
Very welcome. Thanks for having me on, man.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.